Dr. K from Academic Medical Associates, and I'm here today to talk to you about something that's pretty familiar to a lot of folks, and that is anxiety and stress. It's 2020, the year of the pandemic. There's a lot of uncertainty, people working at home. It's really the perfect recipe for experiencing stress. So know that if you are feeling a little overwhelmed, you are not alone. Luckily, there are some simple, easy strategies you can take that are evidence-based to help you get a handle on that stress. And those simple techniques don't cost anything, there's no equipment required, and hopefully only positive side effects. You can apply these even if you are under medical therapy for anxiety disorder or any type of depression. They're a useful adjunct to anything, and there's no contraindications. So the simple three-step technique that I have called the 3 Rs, it's something that's very simple, and what we're trying to do is retrain our brain. Remember that anxiety tends to cause problems, stress and anxiety, when we let it get out of control. And what we're trying to do is get a control on stress rather than have it control us. Everything originates in the mind and the brain and the way we respond to an anxious thought. So what we're trying to do with the 3 Rs, the first R is recognize, the second R is regroup, and the third R is redirect. So recognize means to know intimately how anxiety and stress manifest in your body. Everybody has a unique blueprint, but there's some common themes. For some folks, it's tightness in their jaw. For others, it's tension in their stomach, headache, feeling short of breath. Whatever that is for you, get to know it. Because when you start feeling that way, you recognize that that is simply the way stress and anxiety is manifesting in your body. Why is recognizing so important? Because taking that step to pause actually prevents you from spiraling out of control. Spiraling out of control is when things tend to get really negative, and that tends to cause the disruption in our lives. Remember, stress is a part of life, and it can even be positive, but what you want to do is avoid it spiraling out of control. So step 1, recognize. Step 2, regroup. That's when you can kind of gather yourself, and before things start spiraling out of control, you short circuit that negative thought spiral, stop it in its tracks and say, oh, I am feeling tension in my jaw. This is my stress response. Evidence shows that actually pausing to do that can retrain your brain to prevent it from getting that knee-jerk panic response. And remember, it's that panic response that's really the negative part of stress. If we didn't have that response, stress would not necessarily be a negative thing. And then the third step, which is really important, is redirect. This is a really important step, and it's also the trickiest one. Sometimes you may have to redirect yourself a lot. And all it means is you have another positive or sort of like an antidote type of a thought. For some people, it's a phrase like, I got this. For others, it's something positive like, I can find peace despite the stress, or whatever personal phrase means a lot to you. And what you're trying to do, it's like you teach a dog to catch a ball and bring it back to you. So you're trying to teach your brain that when you feel these symptoms and you start to feel that panic, you can train it to fetch and come back by going into this positive thought. So remember, this can take time, and it may take a lot of persistence. It will take a lot of persistence, but the more you can redirect when you get that negative thought, take a deep breath. Some people, it's an action like drinking a glass of water, maybe taking 5 deep breaths. It doesn't have to be a phrase, it can be an action. And when you keep doing that, the effect may only last for a second or two at first, but the more you keep doing it, the more you can get a handle on negative thoughts, and you can get back in the moment and overcome them. So that's a simple 3-step method. Remember, it's recognize your anxiety blueprint, regroup, take a step back, pause, gather yourself, and redirect, which is where you take that anxious thought and turn it into something that you can conquer. So know that as 2020 comes to a full swing to Christmas and the holiday season and all the things that come with that, you can use this anytime, any place. No one even has to know you're doing it. Hopefully it's helpful, and we will cover more tips in future videos. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.